Hi, I'm Jerry Parisi. Join Tom Mealy and Tommy Marr right here on Cablevision Channel 20 each week for an interesting episode of
The Long Island View.
I am Tommy Marr,
otherwise known as the Maverick Soul.
and I am live in the Madhouse.
For my show, Maverick Soul Hour.
Come and join us. It's the place to be.
Right here on Madhouse TV, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we will put you out to the entire world.
You got that right.
Finally, the time has come. You no longer have to choose between conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Today, unlike years past, your team of doctors from all disciplines are working together side by side for the benefit of you, the patient, to help you regain your health and cross the bridge.
Hi, I'm Tom Mealy from Madhouse TV, and when I'm not at the studio, I'm here at the Harrison Law Group. This is my real job. Brett and I are putting together a show called Legal Straight Talk. It'll be aired on Cablevision as well as here at Madhouse TV. You need to tune in. This information that we're going to be giving the public is the real deal. It's all about what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So tune in this January 2015 for a new episode of Legal Straight Talk.
Why are you playing with your toys?
I watching Madhouse TV.
You're watching MadhouseTV.com
With Connie and Chrissy on Date Night.
Hi, I'm Donnie Most, and you're watching MadhouseTV.com. I still got it.
Humbug. Hi guys, welcome to the Filmmaker Show. I'm Jerry Parisi, and with me,
Michelle Parisi.
look at that, she actually knows her name.
It's a cue card.
You don't have cue cards. I want to say, before we begin, I want to just say thank you to Michelle Parisi. She accompanied me last night to Cablevision in the middle of the night because we have to drop off discs every week, I should say every month, and to the tune of 48 for all the different shows we produce. That's Legal Straight Talk, which is here on Madhouse TV, The Long Island View, also the new Dr. Dow's Bridge to Health. It's really looking good, getting high ratings, and of course the Filmmaker Show, which everybody just says, oh yeah. But thanks for accompanying me last night. I appreciate
you're welcome.
That. So the question I had for you is, why did you let me eat Taco Bell in the middle of the night?
You broke my arm. You insisted upon eating that garbage. You asked me if I wanted one 3 times, and each time I said no way.
Well, you know what?
So?
You got to remember, really, I'm not an adult. I'm still a kid.
So I should restrict you from things that I think you needed to be restricted from.
Mommy.
And speaking of mommies, you know, a lot of parents go to great lengths to put their kids in show business. And tonight, if I don't say their last name right, they're going to say it for me. We have Jenna, and we have Jordan, and we have Jenny, and Zach Chaskowski.
Zach
Oh,
Chesky.
I should start that again. What's that? What, say it again, last name.
Zach Chesky.
God bless you. Say your last name one more time.
Very funny.
Zach
No,
Chesky.
you know why? I want people to know you're out there, and I want them to know your name, because these kids need to be cast. And as a mom with these lovely children, and they got some great personalities, the little one, when she was touched before. Tell me, how hard is it to put your kids in show business?
Extremely.
How did it all start? How did you decide that they should be in show business, or did they decide
They
and come to you?
decided. Jenna asked me about 2.5 years ago if she could act. And I was very sick at the time. She had actually given me the question to act, and I looked for something for her to do. She was offered a couple of auditions, actually 4 times, and I had to cancel out because I was very sick. So the following year, she was extended another offer to audition, and I came to her and I asked her if she was still interested. She said that she was, so we ultimately got some scripts for her to read, and then she decided she was a little timid and shy and wanted her brother to kind of help her read lines. So they were gracious enough to send him some scripts to read, and when they did, they both went to the audition together.
Nice. And then the acting bug bit.
Kind of.
Jenna, what made you decide you wanted to act? Was it watching TV yourself, or what made you decide?
I thought it would be fun because, like, I like some of the shows on TV, and I wanted to be like one of those TV shows.
Ah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be like them theory.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like you.
It worked.
And how about you, Jordan? Tell me about you. I mean, you have a lot of things going on, from what I understand. So, tell me your I guess your impression of starting to act and why you want to do it.
Well, at first, I wanted to do it because my sister, she wouldn't stop bugging me about it. And then the final day came and she was like, "Jordan, you have to do this with me." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." And so that day came and I did it with her and stuff like that. Yeah, it was fun.
And how was it to get to them to the audition? Was it a faraway trip, something like you've made here today?
Much less. It was about an hour for the audition.
Where do you take them to New York City?
I do. Most auditions right now, though, are really videotaped.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
They are.
So, I think he just had to be in the city maybe a couple months ago for a third callback for a television show, but generally they can be videotaped.
Are you guys union by some chance or no?
Not yet. No.
Not yet. Obviously, you got to be there to be in TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't work any other way. Okay, so that's good. So you're prepared to spend $6 grand on these kids, right? Should they ever get in?
If they need to be. Yeah, I love them that much.
A lot of money.
A lot more colleges out there that cost more than that.
Yeah, that's very true. That's
if
true.
you're going to invest in something, it might as well be your children.
Absolutely.
So what I want to know is, what type of roles do you guys like? Or are you very open at this point?
I like sassy.
Sassy? What kind of sassy roles have you had? Can you think of any?
I don't think I had any. I don't know.
What kind of roles have you had?
Rolls with butter, rolls with cream cheese. No?
I did Monster in My Closet, and then I did Fantastic Mr. Fox.
And what kind of roles did you have in those?
A drunk rat.
A drunk rat.
You played a drunk rat.
I could see that. For some strange reason, I could see you pulling off really well. That's nice.
And then I was a sprite where it's a fairy with no wings, but I did have wings. And I was the one who made up my own idea. It was like a privilege. They could count on you. So I did a fire truck idea, and then all the sprites counted on me. And then the 2 leaders were like, "No, you're not doing that." And then I just said, "Yeah, what about we do it?" And then I'm like, "Come on, sprites, let's get out of here." And then they're like, "Yeah, you guys suck."
Do you like to be in the costumes that they put you in?
Yeah, they're shiny and beautiful. I like that.
Uh-huh.
And what about you, Jordan?
I can try out for any role. I really don't care. But as long as it, fits me, if my mom doesn't think it fits me, she won't, she'll say if you want to try it, then go right ahead. But like if it won't fit me, I'll be like, it doesn't fit me.
So, how old are you two youngins?
13.
Got it?
8.
8. And so, obviously, you play, Jenny, a big role in their life right now. And I know you said to me on the phone that it's an uphill battle. It's very hard. And I imagine, you know, going full swing, it is. A lot of things change. People choose people, and they're all set for something, and something changes, and everybody changes, you know. And so what have you encountered that's really given you some sort of an impression that this could be a huge undertaking, to say the least?
I would say just connections in general have been very hard to come by. It's very hard to get anybody to actually talk to you when you're first starting out.
Sure.
It's very hard to find out where the agencies are, which ones are reputable, which ones actually matter, which ones don't matter, who's who in the industry or not. And then you have everybody who's trying to pray or take money from you at the same time. So
Sure.
I think the biggest uphill battle has been that. Just
Let me ask you a question. That's an interesting thing you brought up. Who's trying to take money and why?
there's lots of people trying to take money, and why. There's agencies, for one. There's people who will say that they are management companies, and really they do nothing for your children. They bring you to New York City under the false pretense of an audition, which we've done several times.
Okay.
And you don't find out that it's not an actual audition until you're out of pocket quite a bit of money already. For me and our family, travel.
You know, that's very interesting. You don't find out it's an audition. I can't see that not working, but give me a good example, because, you know, show business is a tough industry.
It is.
Nobody ever said it's a nice one either.
No, it's not. It's hard.
And strangely enough, I've always heard that the 3 toughest industries and everybody wants to be in it is, one, where I came from, Madison Avenue, because the artwork and the excitement and your work is out there and being seen. You know, artists get to do it, work commercially. Number 2 is the music industry, to be able to sing and put your videos out and do all that stuff. And then the most number 1 industry that people would do anything in the world, lose their homes, their families, their fortunes, and it is, of course, the movie and TV industry, because it takes that much to go, and you got to keep going. But tell me why they wanted money, for example.
Well, they give you the impression that they want you to come into town because they want to have your child audition.
Right.
So we would go into town, and yes, they take some photos of your child. Then they bring you into this little room of a cubicle of some kind and tell you how wonderful your child actually is. And here's what you need to pay us every month to manage them.
Wow.
So they were actually taking money to manage you.
Yeah.
I don't know all the answers to that. My own manager, Angela, would probably be a good person to phone a friend with. But the reality is, only when you get a job, as far as I know, do you pay them out.
Exactly. These are things you don't find out about right up front.
They don't tell you right up front.
No. Well, as actors starting out, it's been a long ride.
Camera wasn't on them.
As actors starting out, they, you know, trying to get my children into the industry, that's what we were never told about. We weren't told, well, you don't have to pay anybody to manage your kids. You have to get an agent, and an agent won't take any money unless you get a job. So we made many train rides down into New York City. And as a matter of fact, a couple of modeling management companies that said they wanted to actually have him come in ultimately wanted to see her at the same time. We end up renting a hotel room, then staying overnight, buying all new clothes because these aren't things we planned on. Then, well, after all is said and done, the next day, we want both your kids, and now you pay us every month to manage them. Then they want you to pay for photos.
Well, is it the movie industry, or is it Broadway, or is it both?
Like, what are they promising you?
It's honestly, it's breaking into the industry. It's companies that I think are taking advantage of young families or hungry families for
are they
getting
promising
into
you
they're
television or
no, they're not promising you anything. They're promising that they'll put you on their website and that they will market your child for you. That, you know, they will put their picture up there, and all these agencies will have the rights to them. They have the links to the casting agents and directors and blah, 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 blah. Come to find out, we don't need any of them. I can network for them.
Right.
Well, you know what? To some degree, there's truth in all of that,
Yeah.
though. And that is that they know people that you don't know. And the reality, and I'm not sticking up for anybody here, because I made my own world. And I still continue to do it. And don't think it's not an uphill battle. It is.
Oh, yeah.
The reality is networking is very important. Being there is also very important. And the idea of putting yourself out there, you got to use a lot of different methods to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and there's some things you can do on your own, and some things you shouldn't do on your own, and some things you can do on your own, and some things are good to do on your own.
What are some things that you've done that have been successful,
That's a
that
good
got you into this?
Networking.
Networking where?
Online. I will, a friend of a friend or a friend of a friend or whoever. I don't know if you guys recognize the name Kennedy Bryce or not, but she has just done a couple of movies. Her mom and I have become friends through networking. Her mom's name is Amy. She's wonderful. She actually was in The Walking Dead. She has actually been amazing. So I became friends with her through networking. And she gave me advice on, okay, definitely don't do this. Definitely don't spend your money on that. If they tell you got to pay for headshots, run. If they tell you this, run.
Well,
So,
if
yeah.
it was a reputable place,
Yes.
there are.
Yes.
They may be connected to photographers. You can't discredit that.
Oh, no, no, no.
But they'll say to you, go
Right.
to a good photographer,
Yes.
not somebody who just picked up a camera
Right.
and say, I do headshots now,
Right.
4 headshots for $195 or something.
Right.
You want to look up some people who are reputable in that. But I assume you got some good headshots at this
Oh,
point.
yes. Yes.
And you're happy with them. So you don't
Yes.
need any new ones yet.
No.
But
We maintain them every 6 months, though.
yeah, you gotta
they
move
update
them
them.
around.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have, like I said, I've networked. And how I've networked is I've met people in the industry, and I've asked a ton of questions. I'm not afraid to ask the questions. That's how I met you. I've reached
Well, look
out.
at that. I thought you were my fan, and now I find out we got James R. Corey.
Networking. I'm not afraid to do that. But it's about them. It's not about me. It's about what they want to do. If a role comes up that, like he tried to say earlier, if one comes his way and he's not comfortable with it, okay.
What makes you
You don't
uncomfortable with
I
the
was
role?
just going to say.
So you're going to say the same thing?
Yes.
You copied my
Yeah.
script. Yeah, what makes
What
you
makes you
uncomfortable?
feel like, I don't
Well,
want to do that?
Like, I really don't know. Like, if one like doesn't like sound like me, I won't do it.
Okay.
If you don't feel like you fit the part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think that's part of the acting, though, to learn how to create yourself in different roles and parts?
Yes.
Because that, in my opinion, you got to do what you got to do. In the upcoming movie, I'm in a new James R. Corey movie, Lullaby. I'm going to play a murderer. I don't really like murder and things like this, but that's what I'm playing, so I'm gearing up to be a murderer. And, you know, it's not my favorite thing in the world to be a murderer. Although, sometimes, my wife gives a good example. But no, yeah, like sometimes I say, look, you got to be Peter Rabbit in this thing for Easter, and you got to do it, you know?
Have you guys taken acting lessons? Have they helped you
Yeah, that's a
to
good point.
kind of create different kinds of roles for yourselves?
Yes. Like,
What's
but
that been like?
I don't know. Like, it's been like ups and downs.
Well, tell me something. In acting school, depending on where you go, some of those actors, like my own John Pallotta, I go to acting school too. I do not stop. Thursdays I'm in the city and I have a whole afternoon of acting. And John is connected to a lot of people. And the teachers are a lot of, you know, they themselves would love it. If someone came up to someone and said, listen, forget about being a teacher. I'm offering you this role here in a 20th Century Fox movie. You can best bet they're not going to teach you anymore. They'll jump right into that role, you know. And so, you know, but they come with good connections. And generally, in my opinion, though I've met a few acting teachers in my whole life, many actually, they tend to be more honest than the people you knock on the door. Because when you knock on those doors, you may get nowhere because they don't see what you're doing. They just see your handout, please help me. What the best way I've always known is the bandwagon theory. That means get out there, do plays, do what you can locally, get a handful of tickets, send them off to people and say, look, if you're in the area, please accept this and come with a friend. And they may send somebody in their place. Yeah. And then they say, wait a second, so-and-so's working here. I just got a publicity thing in the newspaper here, and he's got this 4-page story about him, and he's making money, and why am I not making money off of him? Because that's what they do. They make money off of you. Yeah. But that's what their job is to make it off of you. And the steeper you get on the ladder, believe me, the more competition you get. And it's much harder. You know, one thing I do wish I did is live in Manhattan. Yeah. Because when you're in Manhattan, they call you for everything. Otherwise, they look at you, oh, he's got to travel an hour, he's got to be on a set in half an hour, it's an emergency. Nah, get so-and-so on 86, he could be here in a minute. Right. You know, and you may be way better than so-and-so on 86, but that's what happens. And you live far away, right?
Yeah, outside of the city itself, we're 3 hours, but from like where you're located, it was about a 4.5 hour drive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So
and they're driving back tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think they were going to fly. But
well, I thought maybe that, you know, there are other options here.
Like what?
Like staying in a hotel, but they're doing the whole thing round.
Vicky, can they sleep in Madhouse tonight? Let me just ask Vicky.
We have a camper.
God bless her. Vicky Miller.
No, these guys just got done doing theater, actually.
Nice.
So they stay proactive in learning, even if we're not able to come to like professional classes here in the city or wherever. They're still learning. They take lessons either through a theater company or they take lessons. There's a film company that I just got in touch with in actually Saratoga. I didn't know was there. Nice. So there's
they're all over the place.
Oh yeah.
You can find them.
It's just a matter of finding them. That's what I've had a hard time finding is where they all are. But no, they did. They just got done doing The Fantastic Mr. Fox on Proctor Stage.
Nice.
And she just did a 5-week study program with the Young Actors Guild and did The Fairy. That's
awesome. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. If you, a casting director was watching you, and you look right into that camera over there, I want you to say your name and tell me how I can get in touch with you. How would we find you?
I'd be like, say my name.
He wants you to do it.
Say your name.
He wants you to do your slate.
Oh.
Go ahead, do a slate for me. Let me see that.
All right.
Bold. Give me that. Big bold. Sit up straight. Give that. There you go. Now, let's go. Go ahead. These people are watching you on TV.
Hi, my name is Jordan Zakcheski. I'm 13 years old, and you can find me on Actors Access and stuff like that.
And stuff like that. How about Facebook?
How about Chelsea Talent?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There you go. And what about you, young one?
My
Let's
name.
see you boldly say who you are and where you're going to be. There you go.
There you go.
Let's start with the. Okay, good.
My name is Jenna Zakcheski. I am 8
How
years
about we try that again looking into the camera, though? There you go. Right into that camera.
My name is Jenna Zakcheski, and I am 8 years old. And you can find me on Facebook page, only if you can get in there and ask my mom.
Yeah, that was a smart one. That's my mom. Jen, how would we get in touch with the kids through you? If someone saw them tonight, thought they were amazing, they fit something that works, and they want to bring you in, how do they get in touch with you?
They can contact me via email at jennyz623@gmail.com.
That's jennyz623@gmail.com.
Yep.
That's amazing. With 3 working brain cells and 2 are on vacation, 1 calling in sick. I don't know how I just remembered that.
I have no idea. That's a first.
I have CRS. Can't remember stuff.
Oh, that's what I have. Only I have a legitimate reason, so brain surgery gives me my excuse.
Oh, see, I have a legitimate reason. Everything poured out of my ear. And with and tell me, Jenny, in the last few moments on here, what do you think your kids are best suited for? Commercials, theater, movies? If you could choose and segment it so you've got a straight path and people can see what your vision is, what would you say they're the best in? Where would you place them?
If I had to choose, I would leave it up to them.
You'd leave it up to them.
Yeah, because it's ultimately up to them. If it's making them happy, then I'm happy.
Yeah, but
And
you are the mom, and we got to
I
set
am.
some boundaries here.
I am, but if
Your
it's
kids,
commercial,
they're
but I mean,
minors.
if they're
Sure.
happy doing commercials, I'm
Sure.
happy for them. If they
Sure.
want film, then I want film. So right now, if I had to answer because what they've, told me that they want, that would be film and commercials. They're
So
interested in both.
It's almost like you're just sort of seeing where it takes them.
Yeah, and you know what? They know that it's a hard road, and they know that they've every audition that they've been on or been turned down on. We just look at each other and you're
And
like,
you get
that's
stronger.
okay.
You get
That's all
stronger.
right. You learned from it. What did you learn? And
Right.
how many kids were not standing where you just were?
That's
Right.
true. How many
Be
kids are not
thankful.
standing?
Be thankful and be grateful that you had that opportunity. Like I said, he got turned down for the television show Montague just recently after a third callback. And you know what? It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But you'll get there. And speaking of getting there, we couldn't get there without Vicki Mealy tonight, Tom Mealy, Janine Zarilli, and of course the iconic Tommy Marr. And Michelle, thank you for being here with me. Thank you to the Zach Chesky. I'll never get it right, but you guys should. And if you're watching Channel 20, we'll see you next week. If you're here on Madhouse TV watching us live, stick around because James Arcuri and Laura Levine will be right on the next show. Take care. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll take it from there.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, I'm Jerry Parisi. Join Tom Mealy and Tommy Marr right here on Cablevision Channel 20 each week for an interesting episode of The Long Island View.
I am Tommy Marr,
Otherwise known as the Maverick Soul.
and I am live in the Madhouse.
For my show, the Maverick Soul Hour.
Come and join us. It's the place to be.
Right here on Madhouse TV, Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we will put you out to the entire world.
You got that right.
Finally, the time has come. You no longer have to choose between conventional medicine and alternative medicine. Today, unlike years past, your team of doctors from all disciplines are working together side by side for the benefit of you, the patient, to help you regain your health and cross the bridge.
Hi, I'm Tom Mealy from Madhousetv, and when I'm not at the studio, I'm here at the Harrison Law Group. This is my real job. Brett and I are putting together a show called Legal Straight Talk. It'll be aired on Cablevision as well as here at Madhousetv. You need to tune in. This information that we're going to be giving the public is the real deal. It's all about what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So tune in this January 2015 for a new episode of Legal Straight Talk.
Why are you playing with your toys?
I watching Madhouse TV.
You're watching MadhouseTV.com.
With Connie and Chrissy on date night.
Hi, I'm Donnie Most, and you're watching MadhouseTV.com. I still got it.
Humbug. Hi, I'm Jerry Parisi, and welcome tonight to the Filmmakers Show. And tonight we got one of my favorite set of guests. They're back. Besides you, Michelle, you're my favorite guest. Otherwise, I mean, you're always
Well,
here.
I'm a co-host, so I
That's
don't
true.
know that
She
I'm a
got
guest
promoted
anymore.
You're not guest.
No.
You are a co. You're not even
We've
an
moved-
announcer anymore.
We've moved on from that.
You're not even. You know what? You control things now. I'm so proud of you.
Well, I'm in the seat.
That's the seat.
Yeah,
Notice
the
I'm
control
not in the
seat.
seat.
No, you're not.
But
You're in the
speaking
other
of-
seat.
Well, you know. But speaking of people in the directors and producers seat, who are, in my opinion, two of the best.
Absolutely.
That even excludes me and you. There's so
Yeah,
much.
and it's an honor to have them here, so let's introduce them.
That's it. Lauren Levine, producer, and director James R. Corey. They're back, and they got a lot of exciting things to talk about. Lullaby, The Garden of Thorns, some other projects. There you go. You got the floor.
No,
How
I
are
don't.
you guys?
Good. Hey, it's always good to be back, and thank you for always having us.
No, it's our pleasure.
It's our honor to have you here.
That was my line. It's our honor.
I'm sorry, I took it. I'm in
You
the
keep
seat.
on stealing my
Because
my
I'm in
line.
the seat.
All right, fine. Anyway, she's in the seat. You're working on a brand new feature, or it's been in the works for a while.
It's
but-
been in the works for a while.
in a
yeah.
while, but it's brand new to me, and I'm in it. Lullaby. What's going on? Tell us about it.
Well, Lullaby started out years ago as a pitch piece, and we were going to pitch it to the studios, and we looked at the footage. We wrote the script and everything, Warren and I. We looked at the footage and says, you know, let's just go for the feature. Let's go right into the feature. And we were on a money raise, and we did it in bits and pieces, and it turned out what we have. So right now we're near ending it with the scenes that I'm going to put you in. And in the middle, not in the middle, 80% done in the feature, our star, Richie Castellano, passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a heart attack and everything. And
Oh,
that
that's
was like
terrible.
that was like a monkey wrench because there were a lot of scenes that I have to match and with the voices and everything like that, and it caused a little delay in production.
Slight delay.
Slight delay.
So.
With all your power, you couldn't talk to God and say, listen, it doesn't happen right now?
Oh, the poor thing. But so in his honor, he was a good actor. He was a great type, and I would say out of all the Hollywood Italian guys, he was right. If you look at the De Niro's and the Scorsese, the De Niro's and the Pacinos are up here, then Danny Aiello and Chaz in this area, and then here was Richie.
Hold on, let me look under the table for me because
Oh, I see you over there.
there I am, so small.
Now, he was a very good type, and he started to get through our contacts and everything. He started to get the notoriety and the fame from Analyze This.
Right.
We were going to release all his movies. We had a whole road show to do with him.
Wow.
Live, the whole thing, and the poor thing he died of a massive
That's
heart
so
attack.
sad. How old was he?
60 years old.
Oh.
Wow.
That's like me right around the corner. Although
Not so
25
fast.
years from
Not
now.
so fast.
I'm only 35. Lauren, A Garden of Thorns. That I love that title. And we talked about it before. And so now we're really moving forward on that. That's where you are. So tell us where we are on that.
Well, we have had a casting with the most phenomenal kids coming in to do the reenactment portion of the documentary. And in addition to having them come in to do reenactments, I've asked them a lot of questions to see if they really understand the issues.
They were great.
And it is amazing the intelligence of these children and the understanding that they have about these very important issues that even are going on today, and you see them discussed on social media, and it will blow your mind when you hear them.
Yeah,
How old are these kids?
The youngest one is 7, and the oldest one is 13.
And they talked everything about the Holocaust, scapegoatism, and what else?
Bullying.
Bullying.
Terrorism.
Terrorism. Unbelievable answers, like you were talking to an adult. I couldn't believe that. That's how educated they were.
That's amazing.
Yeah, when
now,
you think about
you know, on one of our shows, we had a family who they struggle to get past the wrong people to the right people. And for you, obviously the right people here, what was your casting process?
Very unusual situation. I had originally thought that we were going to put out general casting calls through casting agents and so forth. But I decided that I wanted to go into the local community and find out if there were any children that either had previous acting experience or if they had done some plays or musicals, and give them a shot. Because basically, being that this is reenactment, not fully scripted, a lot of it's really based on the first feel for talent. And pleasantly, I was very surprised. I have a young man whose name is Austin Levine, and he's been in 17 performances of Mary Poppins playing Michael Banks, and he's going to be playing the role of Roger.
Oh, wow.
But what's even more incredible is he actually looks a lot like Roger looked, younger version, at 14, and if you hold them next to each other, you're going to say, wow, he does look like Roger.
He's got that resemblance going on.
And how did you find him?
I was actually at a yoga class, and a friend of mine pulled me in and said, why don't you put out your feelers into doing some of the casting here? Somebody might be interested. And I said, I don't know. And before I could say no, she cleared her throat and made the announcement, and I kind of had to do it, step up to the plate. And so Jim had given me basically a beautiful casting notice to put up, and we handed it out, and the next morning the phone rang 44 times.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, emails and everything. Because you know, years ago, I was involved in casting. I worked. I was the second in charge of a company called Michael Cara Casting.
I remember that.
Remember that? Okay. And
Oh my
I casted.
God.
I was in SAG at the time. I casted Annie, Alone in the Dark, Night Shift, Unfaithfully Yours. I could keep going and going. And I would always throw myself, against SAG rules, but so what? I would throw myself 2 or 3 weeks work on every movie. And I always would make sure I would go into golden time. So
Good Good for you.
Right? And I met everybody from John Huston down the line. It was just a wonderful experience. So I learned a lot on the job training about casting and how to pick what to do, what not to do. And as a matter of fact, your guest, Donnie Most, that you had.
Donnie Most was here at Madhouse TV.
Right.
That's right.
He was one of our guys that auditioned for us.
Really?
Yeah. I still have one of his old pictures from,
Wow. You hear that?
from like 1980. Yeah.
I got to get Willie Scopatone on the phone with this one. That's pretty interesting. So he came to you. That's pretty great.
He submitted his
Well,
pictures.
you know, you guys do so much, and I want to talk about the movies in a moment again.
Yeah.
But Jim, you started on The Godfather. We've only said that a million times on this station. And then you did casting. How do you take on these different jobs that you can pull off? Because you're really good at what you do.
I thank you. I started location scouting for The Godfather.
Right.
And then I grew into other things. And yeah, I got to know some great people like Lou DiGiamo, great casting agent. He did everything from The Godfather, Godfather, French Connection, Thelma and Louise. He produced Donnie Brasco, which I did the original budget for.
I remember those movies, and the French Connection, they filmed around my block.
And I diversified into all-around filmmaking, but you have to know the business first to become a filmmaker.
Sure.
Yeah, beside the business, then you have to know the nuts and bolts, cameras, budgeting, equipment. So I was very fortunate to grow up in the largest production rental house. It was called F&B Seco.
F&B Seco.
Right.
I remember all the boxes.
Foreman and Babb, the B part of the Seco.
Notice I posed for a picture from Vicky Mealy just now. Vicky, so when did you walk in front of the camera?
Foreman and Babb.
Yes.
John Babb was a good friend of mine. And he, every weekend, Friday, I would show up at around 3 o'clock, and I would take home equipment and learn it. Learn how to take a lens off, learn the dolly, whatever it was, in 35 millimeter and what have you. When I was 19 years old, I had all my own equipment.
Wow.
35. And I assisted and directed my first feature with Troy Donahue.
Wow.
Called Without Last Rites.
And I remember all the things he's saying and all the places. I remember them.
Yeah.
I was on sets with F&B Seco was always stenciled on the sun arcs.
Well, I was very fortunate because I got to know John, and I got to know another rental house. His name was Chick Hyman. He was a multi-gazillionaire in diamonds, but he owned a little company called Camera Mart, another rental, big rental.
Them too.
So when F&B Seco was going out of business, John gave me a call, and he says, Jim, he says, how much money you have in your drawer? I have about 800. He says, come on, get down here. So I rushed down. There was all disarray, the whole place. He says, here, see that? That's all yours right there. Give me that money. He took it, put it right in his pocket.
Wow.
He gave me the camera that shot The Godfather, one of the cameras, a Mitchell BNC.
A Mitchell camera shot The Godfather, right.
A Mitchell camera BNC with a set of lenses and magazines and a small airy hard front to do the handheld.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful cameras. I've always loved Arriflex with the magazine on the back.
Yeah.
That's what they used in the French Connection.
Yeah,
and
used that
I'll
as
never
handheld,
forget
yeah.
it. I'm on Putnam Avenue and Forest Avenue in Ridgewood where I grew up, and these cars are spinning around, slamming into the L. Now do it again, do it again.
Yeah,
that Brown Lamont.
they used the airy wild, they're called the wild cameras, they used them. And and one day I got the same type of call with Chick Hyman from Camera Mart. And he says, Jim, we're going to auction, but you're going to kind of win this camera.
Nice.
It was the camera that shot Rocky. It was a
really?
Yeah, it was a CP35, an XR35. Beautiful. It was a scaled down Mitchell. What a camera that was. So cameras, you can't beat me. I know everything about cameras.
That's amazing. That's
from
great.
a very young age,
And Lauren, what do you get at? I mean, to him, I see the mechanics going on, but you're like the backbone. You are the producer of these shows. Tell me what you gain, your mileage. What do you gain on it? What do you? I'm trying to figure out the right question.
I think what you're trying to ask me is what pleasure I guess I get out of making film.
I couldn't spit it out fast enough.
And for a long time, everyone speaks about that they don't make great movies anymore. They make sequels, and it's like a franchise. And I wanted to make films that had meaning and that people would walk out of the theater or walk away from their television set and say, wow, that was a really great film. And how do you do that? You have to pick subject matter that means something.
Sure.
And, you know, special effects are fantastic and CGI is, you know, the most wonderful thing. But if it means nothing, it's on to the next and you got nothing out of it. So we sat down one day and he really asked me out of 60 screenplays that were given to me as a wedding gift.
I love that wedding gift.
What do you like the
We're up
best?
to 70 now.
Nice.
And Jones Beach is my favorite thing that Jim has written. And I think that the lessons that you learn in these type of films are the most important thing, and you continue to learn as you go along. For example, with The Garden, I really thought that what it was about was an unlikely hero and being an upstander rather than a bystander, and I even mentioned that to you. But the more we dig into that, you find out it's really about other things. That often battles aren't on the battlefield, they're in your community.
And where did the idea of Garden of Thorns originate from?
That's a good question.
Well, the gentleman who this is really about, Roger D'Anfrazio, who's been your
Who's
guest.
been on the show and on Channel 20 and everything.
He wrote the book, actually, about his childhood to bring his family back together. It was not originally for commercial use. And because of that, it really hadn't been touched by any, you know, filmmakers or any even book concerns. And I read it and I said, you know what, this could be a great story, but I think there's so much more from speaking to him in person than what's in that book.
You held a lot in.
So I interviewed him for a very long time while I was battling my own demons, which were from metastatic breast cancer. And it gave me something else to think about.
Sure. That's the best thing, too.
And while I was actually doing that, I found out a lot more about him and about what really went on in a community. And you begin to understand World War II didn't necessarily end because we resolved an issue. I think it was everyone was sick and tired of the death, destruction. They were basically out of food, out of bullets, and they were running out of men. Because if you take close to 10 million Jews that were murdered in the Holocaust and 55 million people around the world, that's close to 65 million people in 4.5 years. And now we have very good information coming out of Russia and Ukraine that there were 2.5 million Jews to add to that 6.5 million. That's where I get 10 million from. They found 1,200 plus mass graves with the bullets, and it was written by a priest who, the name of the book is Holocaust by Bullets.
Fabulous book.
And it's a very hot subject matter again. So when you realize maybe we can still learn something here, now how not to kill each other, how not to have another genocide, and at the same time tell a very entertaining story about, as I said, an unlikely hero. So
and you weave into the story about, correct me if I'm wrong, about tolerance and to really increase the awareness of anti-bullying among children.
Well, yes, the documentary has all that. The feature, because it's going to become a feature film, it's character driven by Little Roger, and Lauren created a couple other characters. Roger, in Dijon, France, he was a kid. He didn't know everything that was going around, so we had to do the research and connect the dots, the story around Roger, and it's just fabulous.
Now, is the adult Roger in any of the films?
Yes, in the feature film, the documentaries. He's.
It's all about him.
It's all about him.
Sure.
We have. Oh my God! If it works out, we're going to have something like 6 40-minute segments when finished. So it'll be like a little mini series.
A mini series.
Yeah. For releasing purposes, we'll have it for 2 hours.
Sure.
You know, and then we have a lot of specials. Like now, these kids that we just filmed were so fabulous with the questions. That expanded almost another hour, you know, as an added bonus or feature bonus when we released the DVD.
Now, I got a question for you, and I'm going to speak from experience here. I put in something like 16 to 18-hour days, and I do everything I could possibly do to keep moving on all these shows, my acting career, and the advertising I do. When I see what you guys do and the careful storyboards, this take time. And you sent me storyboards on Lullaby, just my look. I look at this as these are not quick. These are done with care. So Then I hear you reading books, you're checking out this, you're doing that, you're learning more, you're getting cameras, you're researching this, you're casting it. How long is your day?
Oh, boy.
We stretch it to 100 hours a day.
I have a special clock. 8 days a week.
Holy smokes.
It's ridiculous. I'm up very early, and I immediately write because I'm finishing up a script on Frankenstein. It's almost complete. And my writing, I have to write in the morning. And then by 9 o'clock, our day will start. And then we'll start working on the garden, the telephone calls that come in, schedule appointments. And you have the day-to-day. And you know, the day-to-day stuff kills you. The secretarial work, the emails, like, oh God, it's like ridiculous after a while. But when we're alone, we find time to write, and then we plan everything out in detail. Now, we just planned all the shots out, the kids, more or less, because we still need more kids, and the characters, and the exteriors, the locations, and what what we're scripting for the reenactments. So that's what we're doing. We just did a whole massive amount of index cards before it goes into the computer.
You know what? The teamwork you have, I have to admire. You know, because what a wonderful team. And you must enjoy yourselves a lot. You must get through a lot.
We do.
What a world you must live in, you know?
You know, it's not like well, Lauren came from she was a major player in the makeup business, you know, Lancome at one point. And thank God she's not in another business. You know, it would be very conflicting. So together we work on everything.
So speaking of working on everything, identityfeatures.com, is that correct?
Yeah, identityfeatures.com. Hopefully by 2016, we're entering into a new phase. We're going to be entering into distribution.
Right.
The whole world right now is going into internet distribution. Internet is becoming the way of the new world. TV, media, you know this. They're all eroding, and there are a lot of people buying. For instance, we just read an article yesterday that Warren Buffett sold all his conventional stocks and invested into IP stocks, internet provider stocks. Now everybody, it's a frenzy right now. So the internet has become very big, and the motion picture industry is figuring out how do we deliver and make more money than the conventional way in theater. Not that theater's going to die, but a lot of these small theaters are closing up. The models are changing drastically.
Sure.
The tent poles are different. Tax structures are different. So we're like a little bit ahead of the curve because we don't have an overhead like some of these places have.
Sure,
you know
sure.
what
Carl
I'm saying?
Sabatino was on the phone with me today. Absolutely a good producer, I should say who he is really. And he, first of all, he warmly said, Jerry, make sure you say hello to James.
Carl, wherever you want. We give you our love and say hello.
But he says that Netflix is preparing to do 8 new features in New York, something to that effect.
Yeah, something
I think
like
I got the numbers right off the cuff, you know. And if people wanted to get involved with you, Jim, we might as well start because we got like 3 minutes left already.
Well,
Can't believe it.
Yeah, identityfeatures.com. All the information's on there. You know, and we have a great tax structure, great model for investors, and we're getting into distribution.
And you have links to so many things.
Yes.
That also helps you out.
Yeah, we have a model we've been working on for the past year, you know who we're talking about, where we have 3.5 billion links that we're going to work into the model of distribution. And we're, you know, the lawyers and everything, once that gets all signed up, sealed, delivered, I'll be rolling in that direction.
And for those little people who are not quite so big, we have a campaign for the Garden of Thorns running right now on Indiegogo.com.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So if somebody's interested in that, they can go to www.indiegogo.com/1269086 and take a look and select a part, please.
Yeah, 126
9086.
Yeah, that was important because I wanted to say that a second time. That's incredible. So, with a few minutes left, where are we going? I mean, you got so many projects. You got Amityville and a handful of other ones after these two.
Well, our concentration with the garden, we're finishing that, and Lullaby, you know, they'll be into distribution, and then we're going to concentrate on the garden feature film. And we're putting into development a few other projects, Jones Beach, Amityville, you know, so we have that rolling for us too.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the Ugly, you know, the Ugly George project too.
I got scared when you pointed
No,
ugly. I
no,
thought
no,
he meant
no.
me. Ugly project. Oh, yeah, me. Well, thank you very, very much. Producer Lauren Levine, I'm proud to have you on my set. Director James R. Corey.
Thank you.
Humbly, when you guys come here, it's great. You'll be back in about another month or so, and you're going to give us a really nice update, and we'll have some clips and everything else.
Yeah, we're going to do clips.
So, and that'll be good. And you wanted to bring some of the kids on, too.
We could do that.
And so we're going to be doing that. It'll be a
Yeah.
special hour-long with James and Lauren. That'll be good. And even you can be here. Look at that.
I'll get back to you on that.
Oh, how nice she is. Anyway, some real winners who I have to name, and that would be Vicki Mealy, who single-handedly grabbed this studio tonight, turned it upside down, made it well. Tom Mealy, Janine Zarelli, and the iconic Tommy Marr, as well as some of the other people who always lend a hand to make the Filmmaker Show here on Channel 20, and of course Madhouse TV a hit. I thank you all. I look forward to seeing you next week right here on the Filmmaker Show. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.